Welcome to this one-shot video of Ellipse. In this video, we are going to systematically start with weightage of Ellipse in JEE Mains, then go towards the actual syllabus and syllabus modifications in 2025. Then we'll systematically move towards the mind map and see what exactly this topic entails. And ultimately, we are going to discuss all the questions of previous year JEE in last 5 years categorized into 8 problem types. So without any further ado, let us start with it. JEE has asked 1 to 2 questions from all of conic sections in the last 5 years. Recent years I could see there is a spike in syllabus, but it cannot be said that all those questions came from Ellipse. So it is a very good strategy to prepare Ellipse as a part of conic sections. If I talk about syllabus modification, the major syllabus modification was done in 23 when the tangent part was removed from conic section. But from 24-25, if you observe, the syllabus remains largely the same. If I look into the mind map, you can see that we'll start our discussion with pure conic, like we did in circle, like we did in parabola. Then we are going to move towards point. Then we are going to move towards line. And then conic-conic interaction, that remains one of the most important area in this chapter. And ultimately end our discussion with some miscellaneous topics such as reflection property. Needless to say that each of these areas I will further delineate when we go into each of these discussions. Like when we do pure conic, I am going to talk about what are the different elements or parts of an ellipse. Then we are going to go into the standard equation as we always do. Different types of standard equation. Then discussion will move towards translated cases. If the center is getting shifted, ultimately towards parametric equation, and we'll usually end this pure conic discussion with a discussion on oblique cases, because these are the cases where the student find it more difficult to handle. Here you can see that I have underlined the 8 problem types that we are going to systematically discuss. The first problem type is questions based on standard equation of ellipse. Now if I look into this idea, first thing that we should understand what is the definition of the ellipse. So there are 2 very important ideas they will use here. One is SP is equal to EPM. Here S is nothing but the focus, and this distance from PM, where M is the point on directrix. So if there are 2 things given to you, focus, directrix along with eccentricity, you can use this idea. This is a very important idea. In case of ellipse, the value of E lies between 0 and 1. We'll see that this idea will become more and more important as we move towards oblique cases. In the second part, an important definition is nothing but if I take one focus as S1, another focus as S2, then the distance of any point on the ellipse will be a constant, and this constant is equal to 2a, that is length of major axis. The first standard equation of ellipse is the one in which the center lies on origin. So this point is given as 0, 0. And in this case, you can clearly notice that there will be 2 foci, S1, S2. Corresponding to that, there will be 2 directrix. The coordinates of the foci are nothing but AE, 0 and minus AE, 0. The center is at origin. Every chord that passes through the center will get bisected. This is also an important property. And this is major axis, where there are 2 vertices, V1 and V2. These points are not known as vertices. This is very important to know. So coordinates of V1, V2 are A, 0 and minus A, 0. And that for this point will be 0, B and 0, minus B. So from here you can notice some very important ideas. One, if I look into the foci, it is plus minus AE, 0. If I look into major axis, it will be nothing but x-axis in this case, and the equation will be y equal to 0. If I look into minor axis, the equation will be nothing but x equal to 0, and it is nothing but this axis that we have denoted here. The coordinates of center are nothing but 0, 0. fourth idea would be, we will talk about directrix. So there are again two directrix. The equation of directrix would be nothing but x equal to plus minus a by e, because directrix is always perpendicular to the axis. And the fifth idea would be nothing but, there are two important ideas. One is this, chord passing through focus. We'll call such chord as focal chord. And there is one very particularly important, and that is nothing but latus rectum. So a chord passing through focus but perpendicular to axis. So latus rectum, the length of latus rectum in this case will be 2b square by a, and the extremities would be, the points of extremities could be written as nothing but plus minus a comma plus minus b square by a. This is very important, and there will be two sets of latus rectum. One very important thing again is this idea of double ordinate. So any chord perpendicular to the axis would be known as double ordinate. So you can see that there are five important ideas surrounding this. Corresponding to major axis, minor axis, I can also write the length. The length will become 2a and 2b. So a and b will become semi-major and semi-minor axis respectively. And finally, the equation of this ellipse can be written as x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. Where eccentricity is nothing but root of 1 minus b square by a square. So by knowing these 6 ideas, largely we will be equipped to solve all kind of questions based on ellipse. Now if I look into this next standard equation, you can see that this next standard equation will be y square by a square plus x square by b square is equal to 1. See, whenever we are writing this equation, it is assumed that a is greater than b. That would fundamentally mean if you are writing an equation like x square by 9 plus y square by 4 equal to 1, the orientation would be like this. But if you are writing an equation like x square by 4 plus y square by 9, the orientation is going to be like this. You can see that the denominator is an important part. Whatever is greater, that will take as a. Now once you have done that, and if we detail this standard curve, the center would be at 0, 0. This is nothing but my center. The focus S1, and there will be a focus S2. So this would be nothing but 0, a, 0, minus a. The value of eccentricity corresponding to this will not change. Eccentricity will still remain as root of 1 minus b square by a square. Next part would be nothing but the vertices. If you figure out vertices, it is going to be again 0, a and 0, minus a. These extremities will also not change. This is b, 0 and minus b, 0. If I want to write the latus rectum will also remain intact. So it will become nothing but b square by a, a and minus b square by a, a. Similarly, we can write the other one. So length of latus rectum, if you see, has remained same as 2b square by a. So in simple words, we have drawn essentially the same diagram, but the orientation of diagram has changed. So if you want to remember or learn this result, all you need to do is, whatever were the results earlier, in that results replace x and y. So I will give you an example to illustrate the fact. So earlier, the extremities of latus rectum, in this case, the extremities of latus rectum where x is equal to a and y is equal to b square by a. So this was one extremity. If I want to write the same result but in the context of y square by a square plus x square by b square equal to 1, all you need to do is replace x by y. We will write this as y is equal to a and x is equal to b square by a. With this simple transformation, you will be able to write each and every result without even remembering. So you only need to remember the standard case, and rest of the cases should automatically come through it. Now if I look into this 2024 question is very simple. Says that if the length of the minor axis of an ellipse is equal to half the distance of the foci, Let us write it down. The length of the minor axis is 2b is equal to half the distance between foci. So distance between foci is 2AE. This divided by 2. This is what is given. Then what will be the eccentricity of the ellipse? Now this is an extremely NCERT type simple question. So you can see that the value of b by a here comes out to be e by 2. Now what we can do is we can square both the sides in step 2. So we are going to get b square by a square is equal to e square by 4. Now we know that e square can be written as 1 minus b square by a square. So from here you can substitute the value of b square by a square, it will be nothing but 1 minus e square. If I substitute this value, it will get the job done. This is 1 minus e square. This is e square by 4. If I simplify, this becomes 5 e square by 4. So e square is nothing but 4 by 5. Eccentricity comes out to be 2 by root 5. Now let us check the options and see whether it matches or not. You can see that B option matches the description. Moving towards this 2019 question that says that the length of the latus rectum of an ellipse with its major axis along x-axis. The major axis is like this. Center is at origin. So you have been given this kind of ellipse. We have drawn that be 8. The length of major axis. So 2a is given as 8. So you can see that this point can be written as 4, 0 and this point, this vertex can be written as minus 4, 0. Again, not to remind one more, but there are only two vertices. If the distance between the foci of the ellipse is equal to the length of its minor axis. So this is nothing but AE, 0. This is AE, 0. So length between the foci would be nothing but twice of AE. The question says that in the first part, this is given that A is equal to 4. And another thing they have given is basically twice of A is equal to length of its minor axis, that is nothing but 2 times B. Then they are asking which of the following point lies on it. So what we need to do is we need to write the equation and then check for the options. If you want to write the equation, it is going to be x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. For this you will require the values of a and b. A we already know, so this part we can substitute. So a is nothing but 4, so this will become 16. But this we do not know, so this part we need to figure out. For that we have been given these two relations, so in the next thing we just need to find the value of b. If I square it up, this will become a square e square will be equal to b square. See this is a very important shortcut. This will become a square minus b square. So this shortcut will always use for doing calculation because it helps us a lot in simplifying things. So this relation that we have written here will become a square minus b square. This will be equal to b square. So you can see from here, a square is nothing but 2 times b square. This will become 60 is equal to 2 times b square. So the value of b square comes out to be 8. If we put it here, we have got the equation. Now we can check the options and see which one satisfies the bill. Moving towards 2019 question says that in an ellipse with the center at origin, if the difference between the length of the major axis and minor axis is 10. So what they have given in the first part is the length of major axis and minor axis is 2a and 2b. So the difference between them is given as 10. Here a common mistake that people will do is they will assume a minus b as 10. A is not the length of major axis, 2a is the length of major axis, and this is a very important point to remember. One of the foci they have given. So if you have given the foci, you can see that the location is foci or is on the y-axis. So the orientation would be like this. This point is given to me. This is 0, 5 root 3. And once you have written this, you have also understood that this point is also 0, a. So we know the value of a. This is 5 root 3. This we know. So using these two relations, now our duty is to find the value of a and b. And what they are asking is length of latus rectum. The length of latus rectum is always 2b square by a. If I substitute the value, put it here, I should get my answer. Now let us do it. We can square this up, and I already told you that this is the very important result. To understand that, this will be equal to a square minus b square. this will become 75. Now the value of a minus b is nothing but 5. So if I divide these two statements, I will get the value of a plus b, that will be equal to 15. Now if I add these two, I get the value of a. So if you add, you get the value of 2a, and that would be nothing but 20. So a comes out to be 10, and from here the value of b becomes nothing but 5. So you have got the values. If I substitute here, I get the answer. So 2 times 25 by 10 becomes my answer. This 2 will get cancelled out. The answer comes out to be nothing but 5 units. Let us check the option, so you can see that A option matches. In 2022 question, they say that the eccentricity of this ellipse is 1 by 4. You can see that these are simple questions in which they are giving you two values or two conditions to figure out the value of A and B, and then some element of the ellipse or the equation of the ellipse, or using equation of the ellipse they want us to check the points. So these are very simple questions based on two conditions. If the eccentricity of the ellipse is B 1 by 4, so E is given as nothing but 1 by 4. They have given A is greater than B, so we also understand that the orient ellipse will be something like this. So this is what the diagram will look like. If this ellipse passes through a point minus 4 root 2 by 5 comma 3, so this point is going to be here, minus 4 root 2 by 5 comma 3. This point is given. Then a square plus b square is equal to what? You can see that from here we have two conditions. So one, if I use this eccentricity, I can write 1 minus b square by a square, or root of this is equal to 1 by 4. So 1 by b square by a square will be equal to 1 by 16. So b square by a square is equal to 15 by 16. This is first idea. Next is nothing but, we have been given this point, so I can substitute directly in the equation. So if I substitute, it becomes 16 into 2 by 5 by a square plus 9 by b square equal to 1. So now you can see that using these two conditions, I will be able to figure out the value of a and b. Once you have figured out the value of a and b, from there you can get the value of a square plus b square. In fact, when you solve, you will directly get this value. So calculation will not be very difficult. Moving forward, this 2019 question says that S and S dash be the foci of the ellipse and B be any one of the extremities of its minor axis. So let us draw a standard ellipse. This is what they are saying. And now you might question that, sir, why are you taking this, not the other one? You can take either one of them, it will not make any difference, because the question primarily deals with the geometry of the situation. So this is nothing but S dash, this is nothing but S, and this is what they are talking about. This point is considered as B. They are saying that this angle is a right angle. Also, what we have been offered in the first part is area of triangle S dash BS. This is given as nothing but 8 square units. Then the length of the lattice rectum of the ellipses. So see, what they are asking is nothing but 2b square by a. This is nothing but length of lattice rectum. So you need to know the value of b and a. Now in this unique geometry that they have given us, since everything is symmetric, this is 90 degree, so this angle will become 45 degree. Now if you go into this unique triangle, what is happening? This angle is 45 degree. This height will be b, the base will be nothing but a. So since this angle is 45 degree, the angle is right angle, tan theta will become 1. So you can notice this b will be equal to a. And if you notice this, if we can square it up, so b square will be equal to a square e square. This can be written as a square minus b square. So twice of b square is equal to a square, first relationship we have got. Now from this area relation that is given to us, half of base, that will be twice of a into b will be equal to 8. This 2 will get cancelled out. We know that b is equal to a, so we can put it here. So b square becomes 8. This is what we have figured out. Once you have got the value of b square, I will put it here, there, and the value of a square will become nothing but 16. Corresponding, the way of value of a comes out to be 4. If you put both of these values here, twice of b square is nothing but 8, a is nothing but 4. This question comes out to be 4. Let us check the option, so D option matches. Now this 2020 question is even a simpler one. They have given you two things again. The directrix, the distance between the foci, that is nothing but 2 times E. And the distance between its directrix. Directrix is nothing but 2 times E by E. This is nothing but 12. Now what they are asking is length of lattice rectum. So that is 2b square by. So you can see that B and A would be required. So let us solve it. If I just divide it, I will be able to get the value of E square. And that would be nothing but 1 by 2. And from here, if I do, this is the first very important idea. If I do the second part, from here if I square this up, so A will be equal to 3. So A square, E square will be equal to 9. This can be written as A square minus B square. This comes out to be nothing but 9. Now using these, this can be written as 1 minus B square by A square is equal to 1 by 2. A square minus B square will be equal to A square by 2. This value is already 9. So by using this, I have got the value of A square, that is nothing but 18. Once you have got the value of A square as 18, you can see B square will become 9 from observation. And now you have got all the important parameters to find the value of 2b square by A square. So this becomes 9 and this becomes nothing but root 18. So we have got the answer. Let us simplify. So this is 2 into 9 divided by 3 into root 2. So this will get cancelled out. This will also get cancelled out. Answer comes out to be 3. Let us check the option. You can see B option matches. Again in this next question, what they have given is ellipse with foci at 0, 2 and minus 2. And minor axis as length. So B is given as, twice of B is given as nothing but 4. Twice of AE will also become 4. Now we can solve these two equations and find the answer. Now what they want us to do is using this, find the value of AB. Using this, find the value of y square by A square, because you can see the orientation of the foci. You might be able to understand the orientation of the ellipse. Once you have got this, check the options. Now this 2020 question says that the coordinate of the 2 points A and B are given like this, and P be any point on the conic. So what they have given is this. What they have given is point. What they want us to tell is the value of P and plus PB. Now first thing that we should do in such question is nothing but understand what is written here. So x 16 plus y square by 9 would be equal to 1. This is given to us. So if you observe, the value of A is nothing but 4, value of B is nothing but 3. So if you find the value of eccentricity, it is 1 minus B square by A square. So this will become 9 by 16. This becomes root 7 by 4. So if you find the value of A, you can see it will be root 7. This is important to observe, because in the next part, if you draw the diagram, it is going to be like this. And now you observe that this is minus A, to minus root 7 comma 0. This point is nothing but A, root 7 comma 0. Now what you can do here is basically take a point on the curve. This is S1, this is S2, this is P. Now important thing to notice here, the first, from the definition itself, we know that S1P plus S2P is equal to 2A. So this value will be equal to 2 times A. A is nothing but the length of 2A is nothing but the length of major axis. So answer of this question comes out to be 8. Now this 2024 question is extremely simple. What they have given is eccentricity of an ellipse, and then they are asking the eccentricity of an hyperbola. So let us understand. Eccentricity of this ellipse, E1 would be nothing but root of 1 minus B square by A square. This is given as 1 by root 2. So this will become 1 minus B square by A square ka root. So the value of 1 minus B square by A square comes out to be 1 by 2. So the value of B square by A square is nothing but 1 by 2. Now in the next part, they want us to find the eccentricity of second. So this is root of 1 plus B square by A square. What they are asking is value of E2 square. b square plus a square is nothing but 1 by 2. The answer of this question becomes 3 by 2. Let us check the option. The option C satisfies. This one extra information is given that I don't think is required. 2022 question says that this curve meets the line on the x-axis and this line on the y-axis in the eccentricity of the ellipse. So you can see that. Let us draw the diagram. Idea is very simple. They are meeting this line on the x-axis. So if this is on the x-axis, if I put y equal to 0, I will get the x-coordinate. So what they are saying is this is the point on the curve, that is 7, 0. And the y-axis point I need to get from the other part. So there is this line x by 7 minus, but if I put here x equal to 0, I will get my y coordinate. So this will become nothing but minus 2 by root 6. This is given to us. Now you can see that this point will become 0 comma b. This point will become a comma 0. Let us put in the equation and figure out the ascent. So you can see that you have got the value of a. A would be nothing but 7 and b, this is minus b. So b will come out to be 2 root 6. Once you have got this, you can find the eccentricity. It is 1 minus b square, that will become 4 into 6 by 49. 4 into 6 is 24. So this will become 25 by 49. Answer comes out to be 5 by 7. Let us check the option. You can see that A option matches. This 2024 question says that alpha comma 0, 0 comma beta be the points on this line. And divide the line segment joining AB internally in the ratio 7:3. So let us draw. So if I put y coordinate as 0, here x coordinate will become 10. So this is 10 comma 0 or alpha comma 0. Correspondingly, this is also my point A. And there is another point B that I can get by putting x equal to 0 here. That will be 50 by 7. It will be somewhere here. This is also 0 comma beta. And this is also my point B. So there are two parts of the question. Let us do the first part first. In the first part, we will want to find the value of P. So for that we can apply section formula. So it will become nothing but 30 by 10. And if I apply it from the other part, it will become 50 by 10. So I have applied section formula. So you can see that this point P comes out to be nothing but 3, 5. This is the first part of the question. The second part of they are talking about an ellipse. Ellipse is like this. And what they are saying is, we have been given a directrix that is nothing but x is equal to 25 by 3. So you can see that the value of a by e from here is nothing but 25 by 3. Next thing what they are saying is, if S is the focus, corresponding focus be S, so this point is nothing but S, and the perpendicular on the x-axis passing through point P. So this is my point P. So now they are asking the length of latus rectum. So you can see that the x-coordinates will become same. So this point is AE comma 0. So value of AE will be equal to the x-coordinate of this point, that comes out to be 3. Now we can see that if you multiply both of these equations, you will get the value of A square. That will be equal to 25. Corresponding the value of A comes out to be 5. And if I square this up, we have done this earlier, it becomes A square minus B square, this becomes 9. Now this is 25 minus B square is equal to 9. So B square becomes nothing but 16. Now what they are asking is length of latus rectum, that will become 2B square by A. So B square is 16. A is nothing but 5. So answer comes out to be 32 by 5. So let us check the option. So C option matches. Now this 2023 question tries and connects the concept of set theory with ellipse. So if I look into this question, what you will be able to observe in the first part, they are saying that if I draw a Venn diagram, there are people who talk English and Hindi. So the people who are speaking only English, so if this set is nothing but of English speaking people, this is for Hindi speaking people. So this part is alpha, this part is beta, and this part is speaking both. Let us say it is nothing but gamma. This is given to us. Now there are multiple conditions given to find the value of alpha and beta. First is, if I add alpha plus beta plus gamma, this will become 100, because all the people speak one language. Also, alpha plus gamma, people who can speak English are 75. People who can speak Hindi are nothing but 40. So you can see that if I add this up, it will become alpha plus beta plus 2 times gamma will be equal to 115. And if I subtract the first equation from here, the value of gamma comes out to be 15. Once gamma is 15, from here I will be able to get the value of alpha, that is 60. From here I can get the value of beta, that is nothing but 25. After getting this value, now there is a second part of the question that goes into ellipse. They have given the equation of the ellipse. They want us to find the eccentricity. So first let us write it down. So if I divide by alpha square beta square, this will become x square by alpha square. Let us take 25 in the denominator. This will become y square by beta square by 25. This will be equal to 1. Now if you closely observe, since alpha is greater than beta, this part will be greater than this part. So this becomes my a square and this becomes my b square. Eccentricity is nothing but root of 1 minus b square by a square for ellipse. If you put the values, you should get the answer. If I put it, this 25 will get cancelled out. This is what we will get. And here, if I put the values, let us see what do I get. So this becomes 1 minus 25 square by 60 square. So from 144, if you subtract 20, it is 124. So this will become 119. So you can see that after doing this calculation, that option C matches. This 2024 question again tries and connects the concept of functions with ellipse. So they have written two different things in terms of composite function if you carefully observe. The functions are also given to us. Once you have got the value of a and b, then the ellipse question will start. So let us do first part first, find the value of a. For finding a, what they have given is f of 6, g of 10. This is what is the value of a. So if I put 10 in this, let us see what will be the value of g of 10. So g of 10 will be nothing but 10 by 10 minus 9, it comes out to be 10. And if I put f of g of 10, this value will go inside the f function. So will become f of 10. That is nothing but x square plus 9. So this becomes 10 square plus 9. It is 109. So this comes out to be 109. If I move further, in the second part I will have to find the value of b. Now b is given as nothing but g of f of 3. So for this, you will have to find the value of f of 3 first. If I put 3 in the function, this will become 9 plus 9, that is nothing but 18. Now if I put this value in nothing but g, so g of f of 3 would be equal to g of 18. And if I put this value, this becomes 18 by 9 comes out to be 2. Once you have done all of this, now what they are saying is, let us write the equation of ellipse. It is x square by a. So a was 109 plus y square by b. B was nothing but 2 is equal to 1. So if I want to find the length of latus rectum, it will be 2b square by a. So you can see that this will be 2 times 2 by root of 109. So it is 4 by root 109. If you want to find the value of L square, it will be 16 by 109. Then if I find the value of eccentricity, it will be root of 1 minus b square by a square. So this will become 2 by 109. So root of 107 by 109. So if I want to find the value of e square, it will be 107 by 109. Once I have got the value, I can put it here and get the final answer. You can check my calculation. The option C comes out to be correct. Please check my calculation. 2020 question says that you have been given ellipse, the length of whose latus rectum is 10. If the eccentricity is maximum value of this function, you can see that now this function is given to you. 5 by 12 plus t minus t square. Essentially is the maximum value of this function. You can see that this is a quadratic. The maximum value is minus d by 4a. Is nothing but b square minus 4ac, and this will become 4a. The value of a in this part is minus 1. B is nothing but 1, and c is equal to 5 by 12. Let us substitute this value. If I do so, this becomes 1 minus 4 into minus 1 into 5 by 12 by 4 into minus 1. If I simplify, you can see that this minus 1 will get cancelled out. This will become 1 plus 5 by 3 by 4. So this is 8 by 3 into 4. Answer comes out to be 2 by 3. So your eccentricity from this part, from the first part of the question, comes out to be nothing but 3. In the second part, 2 by 3. Now in the second part, they have also given the length of latus rectum. So you have also been supplied by 2b square by equal to 10. Write this equation. E square will be equal to 4 by 9. It is 1 minus b square by a square. Once I have written this, you can see that b square from here would be nothing but equal to 5a. So this can be written as, so you can see that this a square, 1a will get cancelled. 5 by a will be equal to 5 by 9. This will cancel out, a will come out to be 9. Once you have figured out the value of a, b square is nothing but 5 times a. It becomes 5 times 9. So b square is nothing but 45. Now what they want us to find is the value of a square plus b square. A square will become 81. B square is already 45. If I add them up, what I get is 126. Let us check the option. C option comes out to be. The next problem type that we are going to deal with is equation of ellipse when the center is translated. Now if I look into, there are two specific cases possible. One is we have taken this standard one and translated it in such a manner that the center got shifted to a point x1, y1. If this happens, the equation of this will transform into x minus x1 whole square by a square plus y minus y1 whole square by b square equal to 1. And if you compare with the original equation, you might think that the only difference between this equation and the standard equation is, in place of x, x minus x1 is written, in place of y, y minus y1 is written. And that is exactly what we are going to know all the results. So in the results also, I am going to replace x by x minus x1 and y by y minus y1 to get all the relevant results. Alternately, you can also do it geometrically. So if this point was earlier a, so x1, y1 you will add to all the coordinates. So it will become x1 plus a, y1. So like this I can add x1, y1 to all the coordinates. So this is a geometrical way. But let us say that you want to do it using this. So earlier if the equation of directrix was x equal to a by e or plus minus a by e, in this new scenario it will transform into x minus x1 is equal to plus minus a by e. So replacing this x by x minus x1 solves all the problems. So this comes out to be x1 plus minus a by e. Once you know this, let us jump on to the next idea. You can see that everything else remains same. Only difference in this scenario is the orientation is different. So this point is still x1, y1. So correspondingly this equation can be rewritten as y minus y1 whole square by a square plus x minus x1 whole square by b square, and for all practical purposes we are assuming a to be greater than b. So you can see that the orientation changes, and in the result also we will do the same thing. Replace x by x minus x1 and y by y minus y1, and now this we have been doing from circle and parabola onwards, so you might have got accustomed to the idea. Now the first kind of question that is given is find the equation of the axis, directrix, coordinate axis, everything. You have been given this in the translated form, and you can see that the axis is still in the right direction. So if I draw it, this is how it is going to look like. The center of this would be nothing but 2, 4. And if I find the value of A, you can observe from this equation it is nothing but 5. If you find the value of B, again you can observe it is 4. And if you want to find the eccentricity, you can apply the formula root of 1 minus B square, that will be 16 by 25. So it will come out to be 3 by 5. So now if they are asking me first thing, that is axis. The major axis was earlier y is equal to 0. So now it will become y minus y1 equal to 0. Correspondingly, this becomes y minus 4 equal to 0, or y is equal to 4. If I want to find the minor axis, you can see that earlier the answer was x equal to 0. So it will become x minus x1 equal to 0. Here x1 is nothing but 2, so x minus 2 is equal to 0, ultimately x equal to 2. In the second part, if I want to find the directrix, equation will become x minus x1 is equal to plus minus a by e. So you can see that only this thing I am changing, and this can ultimately will become x minus 2 is equal to plus minus a we figured out was nothing but 5, and this was nothing but 3 by 5. Simplify becomes plus minus 25 by 3. Simplify and get the answer. Third part is find the coordinates of the foci. The foci will become x minus x1 is equal to plus minus a, and y minus y1 is equal to 0. If I substitute the value, x minus 2 is equal to plus minus 5 into 3 by 5, and this will become y minus 4 is equal to 0. So from here you are getting x equal to 2 plus minus 3. So one directrix will become x equal to 5, another will become x equal to minus 1, and the y coordinate will remain same, y is equal to 4. Similarly, the vertices will become x minus x1 is equal to plus minus a, y minus y1 is equal to 0. You can substitute the value. And finally, the length of latus rectum and eccentricity. The eccentricity we already figured out. Length of latus rectum will become 2b square a, and this will remain unchanged. So b square in this case was nothing but 16. A became nothing but 5. So it becomes 32 by 5. Check my calculations if I have done something wrong somewhere. Having said that, sometimes equation can be given in this form. So now you will have to express in the first form and then do the question. I will just express in the first form and leave it there. So I will have to make it perfect square. So in order to make it perfect square, let us write x square minus 2x in one bracket, and let us write 4y square minus plus 8y in the another bracket, and leave the constant term alone, that is nothing but 1 here. Now if you want to make this perfect square, this will become x minus 1 whole square minus 1. And before doing anything to this, take this 4 common. It is very important, again it is very important to keep the coefficient x and y, and x square and y square equal to 1. Before doing this, do not do anything, because this will lead into wrong answers, wrong conclusions, everything would get wrong. So x minus 1 whole square, this will become y minus 1 whole square, and this will become minus 1 minus 4 plus 1 equal to 0. So ultimately what you are getting is x minus 1 whole square by 4 plus y minus 1 whole square by 1 equal to 1. So this has now reduced into earlier question. Like we solved the earlier question, you can solve it in the same manner. All the answers are given here for your reference. Now this 2023 question says that let an ellipse with center 1, 0, latus rectum 1 by 2 have its major axis along x-axis and minor axis subtending in 60 degree. Let us try and solve this question. The question says that let an ellipse with center 1, 0. So you can see that now this is not the center. The center is at 1, 0. And what they are saying again is basically latus rectum. So 2b square by a value they have given. This is equal to 1 by 2. Major is 6 along the x-axis. So if you draw the diagram, this will come out to be something like this. At the foci is nothing but 60 degree. This information is also given. Then the square of the sum of the lengths of its minor axis and major axis. So sum of the minor axis and major axis square of the sum. This is what they're asking. So this is the question. You can see that for solving this question we need to find A and B, for which we have been given two different scenarios. Now let us use this. So in this scenario, if I do, you can see using geometry in this triangle. So I am just looking into this triangle. Let us mark it. This is S1, this is C, and let us call this as B. So if I am looking into S1, C, B, the height will be equal to B, the base will be equal to AE. So what is given is this angle is equal to 30 degree. So tan of 30 degree will be equal to B by AE. So you can see that this becomes 1 by root 3 is equal to B by AE. It will become root 3 B by A. If I square it, this will become 1 by B square by A square. This will become 3B square by A square. So you can see that 4 times B square by A square is equal to 1. So B square by A square is equal to 1 by 4. B of B square will become equal to A by 4. This will get cancelled out, and you can see that from here A becomes 1. Once A is equal to 1, we can observe that B will be equal to 1 by 2. So B comes out to be 1 by 2. Once you have this, what they're asking becomes very simple. Add them. So 1 plus 1 by 2 ka whole square. 2 plus 1 whole square. So this becomes 9. In this 2022 question, you can see that it has been given in the similar format that we have looked into earlier. The length of lattice rectum is 4. So LLR. So length of lattice rectum is given as nothing but 4. So we have been given the value of 2B square by A. This is nothing but 4. And L is the length of the major axis. So what they have given is L is the length of the major axis, that is equal to 2A. These are the two information given. Now what they want us to find is nothing but the value of lambda plus L. Let us write what we want to know on the left hand side. So once we have written this down, the life becomes easy because I will have to make a perfect square out of this. So this is what is given. The first step, I will make a perfect square. So I will group x square 2x together. I will group 4y square plus 8y together, and I will leave lambda alone. Once I have done this, you can see that this can be expressed as x plus 1 ka whole square minus 1. 4 will be taken out as I told you earlier, otherwise, and it will lead to a lot of gadbad. So this will happen x plus 1 ka whole square minus 1. 4 times y plus 1 ka whole square minus 4 minus lambda is equal to 0. So you can see that this comes out to be x plus 1 whole square plus 4 times y plus 1 whole square is equal to 5 plus lambda. So if I divide, it comes out to be x plus 1 whole square by 5 plus lambda plus y plus 1 whole square by 5 plus lambda by 4 is equal to 1. Now you can clearly see that this will be smaller compared to this, so the orientation of the curve remains like this only. So this much we have figured out in the step 1. So you can see that correspondingly the value of a square in the second part, the a square value is nothing but 5 plus lambda. The value of b square nothing but 5 plus lambda by 4. So from LLR condition, 2b square by a will become 2 times 5 plus lambda by 4 divided by root of 5 plus lambda, and this value is given as nothing but 4. You can see that this will cancel out. Root 5 plus lambda will become 8. So 5 plus lambda is equal to 64. Lambda comes out to be nothing but 59. Now once you have got the value of lambda, things have opened up, because now if I want to find this value, so lambda will become nothing but 59, and L, if I want to find, it is nothing but 2 times a. So this will become 2 times root of 5 plus lambda. Substitute the value of lambda here as well. So I can replace this lambda by 59. So this comes out to be 59 plus 2 into 8. simplify and get the answer. Now let us move towards type C problem, that are problems based on parametric equation of an ellipse. First, let us analyze what is the parametric equation of an ellipse. So for that you need to know the concept of auxiliary circle. So if you have a circle that touches an ellipse at the extremities of major axis, that circle is known as auxiliary circle. The equation of auxiliary circle in the standard case becomes x square plus y square is equal to a square. Now if I take a line from here at an angle theta and drop a perpendicular from here, these points P and Q are known as corresponding points. This terminology is important because sometimes it is used in framing the question. So corresponding points. So when they say corresponding, this is what they mean in the question. Now if I take this as a cos theta, a sin theta, parametric coordinates of a point on the circle, this point correspondingly comes out to be a cos theta, b sin theta. So there are two things to be observed here. One, this angle theta has a name. This was first idea. The second, the theta has a name. It is known as eccentric angle. And the third is really there is a geometry between theta and this point if you draw it directly. So see, this angle will be equal to phi, might or might not be equal to theta. So two scenarios it will overlap, otherwise it will not overlap. And that will when it goes to the extremities of the axis. Otherwise this will not map. So theta for most situation is not equal to phi. This you should remember and apply. Do not try to use any geometrical result. Idea will be to use equations to find answer. And this will remain a consistent theme across the whole chapter of ellipse and hyperbola. So now if I apply this idea here, you can see that in this standard case, the parametric coordinate of a point and can be written as nothing but a cos theta, b sin theta. But in this case, when we have taken the second, you can see that x and y coordinates will interchange. So this will become b sin theta, a cos theta. This is what we are getting. Once you have got this, moving forward, if we translate the whole idea, you can see that now the center will be at a point x1 comma y1. So correspondingly, this point will also become x1 plus a cos theta, y1 plus b sin theta. And needless to say that these ideas that we have, mostly we are going to apply this in the context of a locus based problem, though it is not compulsory. So you can see that here it will become x1 plus b sin theta and y1 plus a cos theta. So like this, by interchanging, we can do and find the answer. So this is very interesting, very important. Please remember, if you want to write the answer for the translated part, replace x by x minus x1, y by y minus y1, use the same results. If you want to do in this, replace x by y and y by x, you get your answer. Using these two basic ideas, now let us see one or two basic questions, then move on to the JEE question. Find the distance from the center of this point P whose eccentric angle is alpha. See now, if this is given to you and this point has an eccentric angle alpha, this does not mean, again, so this is theta, this theta is not equal to alpha. So don't apply any stupid things in doing the answer. Instead of this, write this point is x cos alpha, a cos alpha, b sin alpha, and then apply distance formula. So now this is the point. If you apply distance formula, you will get, so it will become a cos alpha whole square plus b sin alpha whole square. This is important. Now in this next question, if I want to write the equation of the ellipse using 2-point form, so you have been given two extremities of the chord. One is pi by 4 here and another is 5 pi by. So when we say pi by 4, what we actually mean is nothing but this point is nothing but a. So a is nothing but a cos pi by 4 comma b sin pi by 4. This is what we mean by it. And when we see 5 pi by 4, this ultimately means that this is going to be a cos of 5 pi by 4 and b, that is nothing but 4 sin 5 pi by 4. So if you look into this point, this will ultimately come out to be 5 by root 2 comma 4 by root 2. And since it is a third quadrant, you will realize that this will come out to be minus 5 by root 2 minus 4 by root 2. If you want to write the equation of chord, you can use 2-point form of a line. Now we can see that these are The midpoint of this will pass through the origin, and that is true. Now let us look into this 2022 question. Question says that the maximum area of a triangle that can be inscribed in this circle, in this ellipse, having one of its vertices at one of the ends of the major axis. So let us draw what they are trying to say. They are trying to tell us about some area. And when we draw the curve, it is given that it is of this form. Because when they are writing this equation, they are giving us that a is greater than 2. So it will become the major axis. So they are saying that if you keep a vertex here, and then you take a line like this, and parallel to the y-axis and make a triangle, this triangle they are talking about. I will consider this triangle as triangle ABC. So now let us do this question. If I want to write this point, this will be nothing but on the major axis. So this point will become a comma 0. And now this point I will take in terms of parametric coordinates. So this will become a cos theta and b sin theta. So 4 times sin theta. And this point will also become a cos theta and 4 times sin theta, but with a negative sign, because these points are vertically above and below. So in the second part, if I want to write the area, it is a simple thing. Area will become half of base into height. So height is nothing but 8 sin theta and base is nothing but, you can see that we'll have to subtract their x coordinates to find this. So it will become a minus a cos theta. So your answer from here comes out to be nothing but 4 times a sin theta into 1 minus cos theta. This is what is given to us. Now let us simplify this. So this becomes 4a sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. Now why I am writing like this, you can see that now this has become a function of theta. We will try and maximize it by doing differentiation. So if I differentiate this, this will become 4a cos theta minus cos square theta plus sin square theta. So we have figured out the derivative. For finding extreme values, we will put this derivative equal to 0. So if I do so, what you are getting is cos theta minus cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 0. We need to solve this. For solving this, I can write this as 1 minus cos square theta. So it will become 1 minus 2 cos square theta plus cos theta is equal to 0, or 2 cos square theta minus cos theta minus 1 is equal to 0. Now if I solve this equation, let us see what do we get. So cos theta from quadratic comes out to be 1 plus minus root of b square, and 4ac will become nothing but plus 8 by 2a, that will become 4. So if I simplify this, you can see that this will become 3. So 1 plus minus 3 by 4. So if I take plus sign, answer comes out to be 1. But if I take minus sign, you can see answer comes out to be minus 2 by 4 or minus 1 by 2. So we have got two values of cos theta. So you can see that corresponding to the first answer, you will get the minimum value because this will become 0. So corresponding to the second answer, you will get the maximum value. In the fourth step, they have given the maximum value, that is 6 root 3. So what we had was 4a sin theta. So this sin theta will become root of 1 minus cos square theta. So this is what we are getting. And then this is 1 plus 1 by 2. You can see that by solving this, we will be able to get the value of a. Once we have got the value of a, we already know the value of b. So in the fifth step, you will apply eccentricity formula, b square by a square. We will now know the value of b and get the answer. So you can see that this involves the concept of derivatives also in order to get the answer along with parametric coordinates. Moving on to this 2023 question says that you have been given an ellipse and there are 4 points on this ellipse. Now let us draw this how it looks like. So we have been given an ellipse. So first let us start with the equation of ellipse. So it is x square by 4 plus y square by 9 will be equal to 1. Based on the orientation, you can see that it is going to be like this now. This is my center. And now what they have said is there are 4 points P, Q, R, S such that they are mutually perpendicular. You can see that P would be here and this line passes through the center, so this will become Q. Similarly, there is R and then there is S. So let us say that this is R, so this will become S. So how to do this question? Now, in order to do this question, it will be very important thing to observe that when a chord passes through the center, it will get bisected. And since this point is 0, 0, so the center is 0, 0. So if I consider this point that is given to me as 2, root 3 by root 7, 6 by root 7. You can see that the diametrically opposite point, now this point Q will come out to be minus 2 root 3, because the midpoint of that should be origin. This is the reason we are getting the same thing but with an opposite sign. This is what we know. So you can see that this is what we have. So now if you are finding PQ square, you do not need to find the whole value of PQ square. It will be equal to PQ will be nothing but 2 times PC based on this result. So I do not need to find the whole value. So in the second part, what we observe is PQ is nothing but 2 times PC, and similarly RS, if I find, it will be 2 times RC. This is important because this will simplify our calculation. Now you can see that instead of finding 4 different points, now the challenge is to only find 1 point, because PQ and PC, from PQ you can easily find PC, there is no problem. Third part will take the RS parametric coordinate, but now we can see that since the axis has been reversed, so this will become B sin theta, A cos theta. Like this we'll write it. So this point will become nothing but, based on the equation that is given to me, this will become 2 times sin theta and 3 times cos theta. Now why this is important? Because you can see that if I find the slope of RC, it will be perpendicular to PC. So RC is perpendicular to PC. So if I find their slope M1 into M2, it will come out to be minus 1. This will help us in solving problem. So now M1, that is the slope of RC, will become nothing but 3 cos theta by 2 sin theta, because it passes through origin. Similar for the other coordinates, so it will become 6 by root 7 by 2 root 3, and this is equal to minus 1. So from here you can see that what is happening, this root 7 will get cancelled out. This 2 will also get cancelled out, this will become 3. So if you write the value of tan theta from here, what you have been left is minus 3 by 2 and a root 3 here. So this is what is the value of tan theta we are getting. Now from tan theta, the next step would be the fourth step. From this tan theta, I will find the value of cos theta, will find the value of sin theta, and once you have got this, you have got the pointer. In the fifth step, PC we already know. Using this, we will also find the value of RC. And then once you have got the value of PC and RC, we'll put it here and get the answer, because PQ is nothing but 2 times PC, RS is nothing but 2 times RC. Now let us look into this 2022 question. This question mimics a question that we already did in parabola. Locus of the midpoint of the line segment joining this point with a point on the ellipse. Let us try and figure this out. So you have been given an ellipse, and if you write the equation of the ellipse, you will figure out that it looks like this: x square by 4 plus y square by 2 is equal to 1. And now there is a point 4, 3. So you can see that this would be nothing but 2. So 4, 3 would be somewhere here. So now what we have got is a point 4, 3. So now if I take a point on the curve, this is my point, let us say A. Point on the curve is B. The locus of the midpoint of this line, so this midpoint is P. So in order to solve this question, whenever questions of locus are given, we use our parametric form. So parametric form in this case will become A cos theta, B sin theta. So that will become 2 cos theta, root 2 sin theta. So in the next step, once we have figured out that this point is h, k, we are going to apply section formula. So our B point is this, A point is 4, 3, midpoint is h, k. So if I want to apply section formula, h will be equal to 2 cos theta plus 4 by 2. So value of cos theta from here would be nothing but 2h minus 4 by 2. So 2 letters cancel out. So it will become nothing but h minus 2. Now if I want to find the value of k is going to be nothing but 3 plus root 2 sine theta plus 3 by 2. The value of sine theta from here is nothing but 2k minus 3 by root 2. Now in the next step, third step of the locus, we are going to do elimination. So sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. If I put it, this is 2h minus 3 by root 2 whole square plus h minus 2 whole square is equal to 1. This is k, 2k minus 3. Yes. Once you have done this, if I simplify this 2 we can take out. So this will become 2 times k minus 3 by 2 whole square. This will become h minus 2 whole square is equal to 1. Or if I simplify this, in the fourth step, replace h by x and k by y, x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 3 by 2 whole square, and this 2 we are writing this in the denominator as 1 by 2. So you can see that the locus also comes out to be an ellipse. Now what they are asking, what is the eccentricity of this ellipse? So in the fifth part, for this new ellipse, a is equal to 1, b will be equal to 1 by root 2. Let us find the value of eccentricity. Root of 1 minus b square by a square. This will become root of 1 by 2 or 1 by root 2. You can see that C option matches. Now in this type 4, we are going to deal with oblique cases. Now regarding this, we should know these 3 cases that are very important. One is this idea of SP is equal to EPM. So in the question, if you have been given focus, we have been given eccentricity, and third, equation of directrix. Then you can apply this idea and get the equation of the oblique ellipse. For example, in this scenario, you can see that what they have given is equation of the ellipse. They are asking, they have given us the focus. You have noted that focus is given, direct is given to us, and eccentricity. So all the 3 elements are given. So we are going to apply SP is equal to EPM. Now for doing this, what is happening is, you have been given a point minus 1 comma 1. I am drawing a very simplistic diagram, and this line I have made it in such a manner that it is easy to visualize. So what we are saying is, if I take a general point x comma y, this is my point P, this is S. So we are going to find this SP. We are going to find this perpendicular distance PM. So if I find the value of SP, this will become root of x plus 1 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square. And if I find the value of PM, I will have to use perpendicular distance formula, x minus y plus 3 ka mod divided by root of a square plus b square. Now once you have got this, let us put it here, because eccentricity is also given as 1 by 2. So if I apply here, it will become root of x plus 1 whole square minus 1 whole square is equal to 1 by 2 times, that is eccentricity, x minus y plus 3 ka mod by root 2. If I square it up, let us see what do we get. This will become x plus 1 ka whole square, y minus 1 ka whole square is equal to 1 by 4 into x minus y plus 3 whole square by 2. So if I simplify, my left hand side becomes x square plus 2x plus 1, y square minus 2x plus 1. This becomes 1 by 8 times x square plus y square minus 2xy plus 6x minus 6y. This is what we are getting. So if I simplify this, I will get my final answer. Next type of form is, you have been given a second degree curve. So now here the idea is very simple. If somebody gives you this curve, ax square by square plus 2hxy plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. Then how will you determine this is an ellipse? You remember the idea that delta or ABC, determinant of ABC HGF, this should not be equal to 0 and H square should be smaller than AB. If you apply this kind of questions can be done. So delta I am not finding, but I will write it for you. So value of A, B and C will write H will become minus 1, G is nothing but 1, F is nothing but 1. This if you will find will not come out to be 0. Next condition will verify is H square. So H square becomes nothing but minus 1 square. It becomes 1, and A, B if you find, A and B is nothing but 4 into 1. It comes out to be 4. So you can clearly observe H square is smaller than it. Now this is the reverse question. We'll have to do it the same idea in the reverse order. Form 3 is a especially important form. Now what they have given is, in order to understand this form, first let us understand the standard ellipse. How does it behave? So what is happening is, when you are writing this equation, x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, what is x? If you look into this point, x is nothing but the distance from minor axis. So essentially what you are writing is a distance from minor axis. I will write d minor axis whole square, and then you are dividing it by what? So the a square is written, that is nothing but length of semi major axis. And when you are doing y, what is y? Y is nothing but this distance, that is distance from my major axis. So this will become d major axis, distance from major axis, ka whole square divided by semi minor axis, ka whole square. This should be equal to 1. Now you can apply this idea even in these oblique cases when this equation of axis are given to you. So if in a question they are giving you these 4 things: 1, equation of major axis; 2, equation of minor axis; 3, the value of A; 4, the value of B. If these 4 things are given, you can apply this idea and solve the question. I will show you using a question. So this question is given: find the equation of the ellipse whose axes are of length 6 and root 2. So they have given you the value of A, that is 3, the value of B, that is 1 by root 2. Because they have given the value of 2A and 2B, so from there you need to be clever enough to find the value of A and B. Second, they have given you the equation of the axis. So what they are saying is, let me draw the diagram and show you. So instead of drawing such oblique diagram, and I will show you, simplify the idea using a straightforward diagram so that it is easily graspable. So what is saying that the bigger one has this equation. So this major axis has equation x minus 3y plus 3 equal to 0, and this the one with a smaller length has the equation 3x plus y minus 1 equal to 0. So now what I have told you is, if I take a point, so what was the idea? So both the things are given to me. So in the third step, now here I will use my idea d of minor axis, distance from minus axis का whole square by semi major axis का whole square by distance from major axis का whole square by b square should be equal to 1. So if I take this point as x comma y, so you can see that this distance would be nothing but capital X, this would be nothing but capital Y. So if you find this, you can see that this d minor axis, d minor will become nothing but distance of that point from that line. So 3x plus y minus 1 का mod by root of 10, and d major here would be nothing but this distance from this axis, equation is given here. So will become x minus 3y plus 3 ka mod by root 10. Let us substitute the value and do the calculation. If I substitute the value, this will become 3x plus y minus 1 whole square, 10 will also come, and then we have an a square also. So a was nothing but 3, so this comes out to be 9. Then we have nothing but the d major wala part, so it will become x minus 3y plus 3 whole square by 10 into, then there is also this length that will become 1 by 2. Now simplify this, do the calculation, this is the answer you will ultimately get. So you can see that this is not a difficult question, but a different question that you need to know in order to get it right. Now let us summarize. These are the results that are there. You can pause it and go through these results if you want to. But we have done all detailed questions based on that. And I have also covered all the oblique cases also. This last case is particularly interesting one. This we missed out. So in an ellipse, if they have given you two things, one is this S1, another is this foci S2, and the length of major axis. So they are giving you one foci and two the value of major axis, that is 2a. Then you can also apply this one. So x1 comma y1, let us say it is given, and this is given as x2 comma y2. So now if I want to write the equation, this point will consider as xy. This will become p. So we will write the value of s1p as root of x minus x1 ka whole square plus y minus y1 ka whole square. We will write the value of s2p, that is root of x minus x2 ka whole square plus y minus y2 ka whole square. Substitute the values there. In this equation, s1p plus s2p is equal to 2a. Simplify and get the answer. So this is also a 4 type of question based on oblique. So oblique will consist of these primarily 4 type of questions. The next problem type is nothing but problems based on point and ellipse. What is the condition here? If a point lies inside the ellipse, then S1 will be smaller than 0. On the ellipse, S1 is equal to 0. Outside the ellipse, greater than 0. So this is for in, this is for out. These conditions will become opposite in the case of hyperbola. And this question will not be asked in ellipse but hyperbola. I will show you just a small question to give you a glimpse. So if this is given, my S1 will become x1 square by 25, y1 square by 16 minus 1. Substitute and check the value of S1. So if I substitute, this is 25 by 25. This is 16 by 16. You can see that this will become 1 plus 1 minus 1. It comes out to be 1 greater than 0. Hence we can say that the point is out. Now, like there was a question when we solved the one shot for parabola, a point is given in terms of variables. You will apply the condition, it will become an inequality. All those types of questions can be asked. It has not been asked till date in ellipse. So I have not covered any question, but you should know the idea and you should know how to apply it. Now in this 6th problem type, we are going to understand the application of chord bisected, a chord whose midpoint is given to us. So the equation of a chord bisected can be written as nothing but t is equal to s1. This is one of the universal application where we can find a chord bisected in the case of circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. Even in the case of ellipse, you can apply it to standard case, translated case, oblique cases. All you need to do is write the value of t, write the value of s1 and equate them. Now a very simple question to illustrate the idea would be, the equation of ellipse is given. Find the chord bisected at 2, 1. So we will be able to write t is equal to s1. So t will become x1 by 36 plus y1 by 9 minus 1. And s1 will become x1 square by 36 plus y1 square by 9 minus 1. Once we substitute the value, we get the answer. So 2x by 36 plus y by 9 will be equal to 2 square by 36 plus 1 by 9. Simplify and get the final answer. So this is how we apply this basic equation of chord bisected. Now reverse question can also be asked. They are asking the midpoint of the chord intercepted by the ellipse. So now you can see that this will use our comparison technique. So when you are solving a question in ellipse, most of the times, though we have all the 3 things, we can also use geometry. Sometimes we can also use property, or we can write equations and compare, or write equations and solve. You will see that These two techniques are of prominence in ellipse and hyperbola. So you can see that we are going to use this technique of comparison. First, one equation they have already given to us. We'll write the same equation using t is equal to s1, where midpoint of the chord is nothing but x1 comma y1. So if I write it down, it will become x1 by 10 plus y1 by 6 minus 1 is equal to x1 square by 10 plus y1 square by 6 minus 1. Now in the third step, we are going to compare 1 and 2. To find the answer. So for comparison, before doing comparison, there will be a simple step to write it in a very legible manner. So x1 by 10 plus y1 by 6 minus x1 square by 10 minus y1 square by 6 equal to 0. And now that becomes 2x minus y plus 3 equal to 0. So what we have got after comparison is nothing but x1 by 10 divided by 2, y1 by 6 divided by minus 1, and minus of x1 square by 10 minus of y1 square by 6 divided by 3. All of them are equal. So using this equation and this equation, we will be able to find the value of x1 and y1. Now this means 2021 question says that they have given a chord whose midpoint is given to us. We will have to find the length of the chord. See, here there is no shortcut or property like parabola to find. There is no formula. We'll have to do it from the basics. Now, if I look into this point, what is going to happen is, first step, we are going to write the equation of the chord using t is equal to s1. So if I apply t is equal to x1, this becomes xx1 by 25 plus y1 by 16 minus 1 will be equal to x1 square by 25 plus y1 square by 16 minus 1. If I simplify this, 1 will get cancelled out. Putting the value, this becomes x by 25 plus 2y by 16 into 5 is equal to x1 square will become 1 by 25 plus 4 by 25 into 16. If I simplify this, you can see that this is getting cancelled out. This becomes 8, and here also this will get cancelled out. Now we can multiply by 25, so this will become x 5y by 8 is equal to 1 plus 1 by 4. So you can see that this right hand side becomes 5 by 4. This is x plus 5y by 8. Now this is interesting. Why? Because in the next step, using this equation will find, so this is my ellipse. I will find these points of intersection. Rather than I will generate the ground to apply distance formula. Now this technique I have already told you in parabolas one shot. I told you that if you want to find the length, it is going to be x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. So in the first step, we will find x1 minus x2 whole square and y1 minus y2 whole square. So for this, what we will require is x1 plus x2 whole square minus 4x1 x2. For finding this quadratic, how are you going to proceed? So we are going to take y from here and substitute in our original equation. Also, I will also want the value of y1 plus y2 whole square. So this will be nothing but y1 plus y2 whole square minus 4 y1 y2. Now in the next step, we are going to simplify this into one thing. You can see that x1 plus 5 by 8 y1 is equal to 5 by 4 and x2 plus 5 by 8 y2 is equal to 5 by 4. So if you subtract them, you get a relationship between x1 and x2. So x1 minus x2 is equal to minus 5 by 8 y1 minus y2. So if you find one, other can be easily figured out. It is easy to find y1 minus y2, so we will take x from here. In the fourth step, substitute it in the equation of the curve. So if you look into the equation of the curve, it is x square by 25
plus y square by 16 equal to 1. So now we are going to take the equation of x value from x from here, substitute here. So this becomes minus 5 by 8y plus 5 by 4 whole square by 25 plus y square by 16 equal to 1. So if I simplify, let us see what do I get. So if I take 5 common, it will become 5 square by 8 square. This will become minus y plus 2 whole square by 25 plus y square by 16 is equal. Simplify this becomes y square minus 4y plus 4 plus 4y square is equal to 64, and if I simplify, becomes 5y square minus 4y minus 60 is equal to 0. So you can see that you have got a quadratic. From here we will be able to find y1 plus y2. This comes out to be 4 by 5, and y1 y2, this comes out to be 6 minus 60 by 5. So you have got both the values. Once you have got both the values, we will substitute here. We will get the value of y1 minus y2 whole square. Using this, we will get the value of x1 minus x2 whole square. We will substitute both the things here and get the final answer. So you can see that it is little bit lengthy, but if you follow the process, you will be able to get the answer. Now next problem type is based on a very famous property known as reflection property. Now before going forward, let me tell you what is the reflection property. So if you have an ellipse like this, and it can be either standard ellipse, translated, oblique, and anything is fine. If a ray of light starts from one of the foci, the reflected ray will pass through another foci. Using this basic idea, we are going to find the equation of the reflected ray, sometimes incidentally depending on the question. So let us see a question based on this idea. A ray of light emanating from a point minus 3, 0 is incident on this ellipse at the point P whose ordinate is 4. Find the equation of the reflected ray. So let us draw the diagram first. If we draw the diagram, first thing that you should notice is the equation is given as x square by 25 plus y square by 16 equal to 1. The orientation would be like this. The value of A is nothing but 5, the value of B is nothing but 4. Eccentricity will become root of 1 minus 16 by 25. So this comes out to be 3 by 5. So if I want to write foci, this foci is going to be minus 3, 0. This foci is going to be 3, 0. So once you have done your basic calculation, now the idea is that what they are saying is a ray of light starts from here, strikes at a place whose y coordinate, see ordinate would mean y coordinate, is given as 4. So first part you have done. In order to find the x coordinate corresponding to this y coordinate, let us substitute this in the equation. So x square by 25 plus 4 square by 16 is equal to 1. So what happens is, what we are getting is 1 is equal to 1. This will get cancelled out, answer becomes 0. So now the question is quite clear. A ray of light starts from here, reaches here, and then get reflected like this. This is what is happening. So this point also we know this is 0, 4. Now the question is very simple. What they are asking is basically what will be the equation of this reflected ray. Now you can see clearly that you know 2 point here, you know this point, and you also know this point. So using 2-point form, we can write the equation and get the answer. So let us finish it off in the third step. So third step, if I write the answer, it is going to be y minus 0 by x minus 3. This will be equal to 4 minus 0 by 0 minus 3. The equation comes out to be minus 3y is equal to 4x minus 12, or 4x plus 3y minus 12 equal to 0. So this is the basic idea, core idea, using which we will solve questions based on reflection. Now let us move towards the last and the most anticipated problem type, that is conic-conic interaction. So multiple times you might have seen problems in which there are two parabolas, two circles, one circle, one ellipse, one parabola, ellipse getting involved. So we are going to discuss such questions that have multiple conic sections into them. Now if I look into this 2024 question says that let P be a parabola whose vertex is 2, 3 and the vertex is 2x plus y is equal to 6
and then they have given an equation of an ellipse whose eccentricity they have given passes through the focus of the parabola, then the square of the length of the latus rectum of A is. So you can see that there are 2 points. What they are saying is there is a parabola. It is going to be an oblique parabola, you can see by the nature of point that is given to you. So let us say that it is an oblique parabola like this. Now what is happening here is my ellipse passes through the focus of the parabola P. So what they have given on the parabola is nothing but this vertex that is given as 2, 3. They have given the directrix. So if my ellipse is passing through this point, I will have to figure out the value of the focus. Once you have got that, I will move on to the next part, the ellipse part of the question. Now if I want to do this question, I will first find the foot of perpendicular, that is this point from this vertex V. Let us say that this is point F. So foot of perpendicular, so we have a formula for that. The formula is x minus x1 by A is equal to y minus y1 by B is equal to minus times ax1 plus by1 plus c by a square plus b square. If I apply this formula, you know that x1, y1 is nothing but 2 and y1 is nothing but 3. The value of a we will get from the equation of this directrix that is given to us. So this is 2x plus y is equal to 6. Once you have this, we can put 2 here, we can put 1 here, and minus of, now if I put 2 and 3 here, so that will become 4 plus 3 minus 6 divided by 4 plus 1. If you do this, this becomes x minus 2 by 2, y minus 3 by 1, and now 7, this will become minus 1 by 5. Once you have got this, you can see that using this we have figured out our x coordinate. The x coordinate comes out to be minus 2 by 2 minus 2 by 5. This comes out to be 10, 8 by 5. And y minus 3. So this will become y is equal to 3 minus 1 by 5. 15. So this will become 14 by 5. So now we have got the foot of the perpendicular. This foot of the perpendicular is 8 by 5, comma 14 by 5. So now the next step, in order to figure out this focus, would be nothing but applying the section formula. Now we know that this foot is 8 by 5, comma 14 by 5. This vertex is nothing but 2, 3. And this endpoint focus is nothing but x1, y1. So if I apply distance formula, x1 plus 8 by 5 divided by 2 will be equal to 2. So x1 comes out to be 4 minus 8 by 5. So this will become 12 by 5. Similarly, if I apply it on the y coordinate, y1 plus 14 by 5 divided by 2 will be equal to 3. So y1 is nothing but 6 minus 14 by 5. So this will become 16 by 5. Once we have done that, now we have got the focus. And obviously check my calculation. Then the next step, that is the second step. Now let us forget this question. The question says that you have been given an ellipse. On this ellipse you have been given a point. This point is point S, and the coordinates we have just figured out, 12 by 5, comma 16 by 5. Second, this is 1. Another condition, they have also given the eccentricity. Eccentricity is nothing but 1 by root 2. And now what they are asking is nothing but the length of latus rectum. So what they want you to tell is 2b square by. Now this question we have done multiple times. A point is given, eccentricity is given, we need to find the length of latus rectum. So using these two conditions, in the first step, I am going to find the value of a and b. Once I have got the value of a and b, I will find length of latus rectum applying 2b square by. Using these two steps, you can get the answer. If I look into this 2024 question says that this line intersects the x and y axis at a point a and b respectively. If the equation of the circle having the line segment AB is diameter, the length of the latus rectum of ellipse. So you can see that again, there are 2 points of the question. One talks about circle, another talks about ellipse. So they have given an AB as diameter of a circle whose equation is already given to us. The equation is given as x square plus y square
minus 3x minus 2y equal to 0. So if you closely observe, the center of this circle, which will be of importance of us, will become 3 by 2 comma 1. Now what they have said is the value of point A and B we can find by putting this line that is given to us. This intersects x-axis at point A. So if I put y equal to 0, I will get x coordinate. So this will become k by 2 comma 0. And if I want to get the y coordinate, if I point the point B, it is the intersection with, so I will put x equal to 0. That will become k by 3. So we have figured out the point A and B, which are extremities of diameter. So if I want to find the value of k, I will apply section formula because this is nothing but the center. So k by 2 plus 0 divided by 2 will be equal to 3 by 2. So you can see that the value of k comes out to be 6. You can also verify the same thing using y coordinate. Once you have done this, now let us transition towards the ellipse question. Now question says that you have been given an ellipse that looks like this: x square plus 9y square, k square will become 36 because k is 6. So this becomes x square by 36 plus y square by 4 equal to 1. The length of the latus rectum is m by n. So length of latus rectum will become 2b square by a. So if I substitute the value, this becomes 2 into 4 by 6. So answer becomes 4 by 3. So value of m is nothing but 4. Value of n is nothing but 3. So twice of m plus n will be equal to 11. If you check, option C matches. If I move forward with this 2024 question says that let P be the point on this ellipse and let the line passing through P is parallel to y-axis meet the circle at point Q. Then P and Q are on the same side of the x-axis. Eccentricity of the locus of R. Now you can see that there are multiple things happening in this question, at least 3 different things. First part is with respect to an ellipse. So let us draw the ellipse. This is my ellipse. So this is nothing but x square by 9 plus y square by 4 is equal to 1. So this ellipse they have given. Let a line passing through P. Now P is a point on this, parallel to the y-axis. Now you have another circle that is given to you, and if you closely observe, this is nothing but an auxiliary circle. So it goes like this. Now because of the nature of the radius, so you can see that this will become x square plus y square equal to 9. Now they are saying that there is a line parallel to the y-axis, on the same side. And the P and Q on the same side of the x-axis, like this. So this point and this point. P was on ellipse, Q will be on circle. Now we have learnt a very important concept of corresponding points. We are using the concept of corresponding points in this question. So when we learned parametric equation that I told you, so if I take this point as a cos theta, a sin theta, correspondingly this point P will become a cos theta, comma b sin theta. There is a point R on the line PQ. So we have P, we have Q, there is a point R on it that divides it in the ratio 4:3. Now if you look into this, my P point is nothing but a cos theta, b sin theta. So this is nothing but 3 cos theta, comma 2 sin theta. This point whose locus I want to find will become h comma k. Q point will become nothing but a cos theta, a sin theta. So now problem becomes very simple. We are going to write the locus. So this will become 4 times 3 cos theta plus 3 times 3 cos theta by 7, and since it is a vertical line, x coordinate will not change anyway. So this is going to, so this will become 3 cos theta. If I want to find the value of, so you can see that cos theta from here would be nothing but 7k by 3. Similarly, if I do it for the y coordinate, k I can write as nothing but 4 times 3 sin theta plus 3 times 2 sin theta by 7. So you can see that k comes out to be 4 into 3, 12. 12 plus 6 will become 18. 18 by 7 sin theta. So from here the value of sine theta comes out to be nothing but 7k by 18. The third step, we are going to do sine square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1, and this we have done multiple times now in multiple questions. So this will become 49 h square by 9 plus 49 k square by 18 square is equal to 1. So you can see that if I convert this into h and x, so 49 x square by 9 plus 49 y square by 18 square, this will be equal to 1. You can see that you have again got an ellipse. What they are asking is eccentricity of the curve, that can be easily figured out. Now if I look into this 2022 question says that PQ is a focal chord of parabola y square is equal to 4x such that it subtends an angle pi by 2 at a point 3, 0. Let us see this question. So they are talking about first a parabola. Now the parabola is there, it subtends an angle pi by 2. So it is a focal chord PQ. At 3, 0, it subtends an angle pi by 2 like this. So now if I take this point as at square to at, so a in this case will become 1, so this will become t square 2t. This point would become minus 1 by t, because in case of focal chord t1 t2 is equal to minus 1. So this focal chord property we are using. So other endpoint will become 1 by t square minus 2 by t. So now in order to find the value of t, we can apply this condition of perpendicularity between these two. Slope of PR into slope of QR should be equal to minus 1. So if I find the slope of PR and QR, it will become nothing but 2t minus 0 by t square minus 3 minus 2 by t comma 0 by 1 by t square minus 3 should be equal to minus 1. Now if I solve this equation, the value of t comes out to be 1. Now this is significant to observe that, because if you can observe, you could have also observed that this is a very special case. What is happening here, if you closely observe the geometry, this point is nothing but my focus and this point is 1, 0, wherein I am finding at 3, 0 there is a slope. So this is what is happening. So if it is 90 here, it will also be 90 here. So this point at the two distance is minus 1, 0 from where the directrix passes. So you can see that this kind of a scenario is getting made. So without even doing, if you could just observe this, you can be able to conclude that this PQ that we are talking here is nothing but the lattice rectum. If you could observe, then you can do faster. If you cannot observe, then you will have to do this process and get to the answer. Now let us move towards the second part. So if I look into the ellipse, now what is happening, let us see. So these extremities are given to us. So AE will be equal to 1 and B square by A will also become equal to 1, will become equal to 2. Once you have this, from here I can write this as A square minus B square is equal to 1. You can see that the value of B square is equal to 2A. We can put here, we can solve it. So A square minus 2A minus 1 is equal to 0. So A comes out to be 2 plus minus root of B square minus 4 AC by 2A. So 2 will get cancelled out. What we are getting is 1 plus root 2. So what we have figured out is the value of A. From here, the value of B square will become 2 times 1 plus root 2. So we have also figured out the value of B square. Now what they are asking from us is nothing but eccentricity. So E square will become 1 minus B square by A square. Now if I observe, the value of eccentricity would be nothing but 1 minus B square by A square. Substitute the value and get answer. Also check my calculation if I have done any kind of mistake anywhere. Now if I look into this 2023 question says that there is an ellipse. it intersects the positive direction of x and y axis at a point A and B. So let us draw the diagram. So if I write the equation of the ellipse, it becomes x square by 9 plus y square equal to 1. The orientation we have understood, it is like this. So it will intersect the positive direction of x-axis at A, positive direction of y-axis at B. You can see that this point becomes 3, 0 and this point becomes 1, 0. Let the major axis of E be the diameter of a circle. See, if you do this, what you are going to get is nothing but an auxiliary circle that will go like this. Now once they have done, they have extended this AB to intersect the circle at P. What they are asking is what is the area of this triangle AP, AC, let us say origin. Yes, this is the triangle whose area they want us to find. So what are we going to do? We are going to simply find this point P. See, and more importantly, the y coordinate of point P, because y coordinate of point P will become height of this triangle. The base of this triangle will become 3 units. We already know that. So if I want to find the area, it is half of base into height. If I just can find the y coordinate of this point P, I have got my answer. So for doing that, in the second part, we know that the equation of auxiliary circle will become x square plus y square is equal to 9. Let us write the equation of this line. See, we know x intercept is 3, y intercept is 1. So this is what the equation is. So the value of x from here would be nothing but 3 minus 3y. Once you have got this, we can substitute here and get the value of y. So this will become 3 minus 3y whole square plus y square is equal to 9. If I simplify, this will become 9y square plus 9, and 3 into 3 will become 9, and 9 into 2 will become 18y plus y square is equal to 9. This 9 and 9 will get cancelled out. This will become 10y square minus 18y is equal to 0. So one solution becomes y equal to 0. This we do not want. Other becomes nothing but 18 by 10. So 18 by 10 is nothing but 9 by 5. So you can see that you have got everything. Now we can put the value here and find the area. So half of 3 into 9 by 5. If I simplify this, this becomes 27 by 10. So the subtraction of 27 and 10 becomes 17. That is nothing but option C. So you can see that it is a very simple question based on auxiliary circle and ellipse. If I look into this 2022 question says that there is a line given to us. This meets the ellipse at 2 points P and Q. So let us draw the diagram. This is my ellipse. There is a line. It meets the curve at P and Q. Now, taking P and Q as diameter, if R is the radius of the circle where P and Q is taken as diameter. So they have drawn a circle like this. Now they are asking the value of 3r square. So see, this circle etc. is unimportant. Largely you can see circle is not going to make any difference. What we want is nothing but length of this. This length will become nothing but 2r. So from here we will get the value of 2r directly. In order to do this, what we are going to do, that is important. So we are going to take the value of y from here, substitute in this line and find the points of intersection. So this becomes x square by 4. This will become x plus 1 ka whole square by 2 is equal to 1. So if I write it down, x square plus 2 times x square plus 2x plus 1, this will be equal to 4. So 3x square plus 4x plus 2 is equal to 4. What we are getting is 3x square plus 4x minus 2 equal to 0. We will stop here. We will not exactly find x1, y1. There is a reason behind that. Let us say that this point is x1, y1 and this point is x2, y2. So what we actually require in step 2 is not the value of x1, x2. But if I want to find the value of 2r, it is going to be nothing but x1 minus x2 ka whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. And we did such kind of question when we are discussing questions on midpoints, chord bisected. I told you that there is no need to find x1, x2. We will do it using sum and product of the roots. So I can write it like this. If I write it like this, you can see that from here x1 plus x2 is equal to minus 4 by 3 and x1, x2 is nothing but minus 2 by 3. If you substitute these points, this will become 16 by 9. This will become plus 4 into 2 by 3. So what we are getting is 16 by 9 plus 8 by 3. 24. This will become 24 by 9. Answer becomes 41. Now if you observe closely, so this x1 minus x2 we have written. In the third step, now let us observe one more thing. See, now what we have is nothing but y is equal to x plus 1. So if I want to write y1, it will be x1 plus 1. And if I want to write y2, it will be x2 plus 1. So if I want to find y1 minus y2, it will be equal to x1 minus x2. So both of these values. So in the fourth step, if I want to solve, we know that the value becomes nothing but this will become 40 by 9. This will also become 40 by 9. So what we are getting is nothing but 40 by 9 into 2 ka root. So this becomes root of 80 by 3. Now this is the value of 2r. So 2r is root of 80 by 3. If I want to find the value of 3r square, this will become 3 into 80 by 3 into 4. So this 3 will get cancelled out. This will become 20. So let us take the option. You can see that option A matches. Now in this 2021 question, you can see that the point of intersection of 3 curves they are talking about. There is an ellipse given, there is a circle given, and there is a parabola given. So there are 3 curves involved. Then they are asking the value of B, and because of these 3 curve involvement, it becomes very simple. Because if I take this point and find the intersection with the circle, so what we have is equation of circle as x plus y square is equal to 4b. I can substitute the value of y square. So x square plus 3x square will be equal to 4b. X square comes out to be equal to b. Hence y square will be equal to 3b. Once you have figured this out, in the step 2, we will take both of these and put in the first equation. So x square is nothing but b by 16. The y square is nothing but 3b by b square is equal to 1. This b will get cancelled out and you are left with a quadratic equation. So if I take LCM, b square plus 48 is equal to 16b. So b square minus 16b plus 48 will be equal to 0. Now if I want to find, I can solve this equation. So b comes out to be 16 plus minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So 2 if I remove, this becomes 8 and 4 will go, so this will become 64. This 4 will also go away. So what we are left with is nothing but 8 plus minus root of 64 minus 48. If you subtract 16, so it is nothing but 8 plus minus root of 16. So 8 plus minus 4. So there are two answers to this question. 12 can also be there, 4. So 4 they are saying is not acceptable. So 12 becomes an acceptable answer. If you like this video, you will also like PracBee's unique one-on-one last mile journey program. In this program, we sit with the student, understand their preparation till this point of time. And based on that, in step 2, we write a customized planner just for you to help you optimize your marks in JEE Mains exam based on whatever preparation you have done. In the step 3, we sit with you one-on-one by a set of faculties aligned by PracBee and help you implement the customized plan that we wrote for you. Students have come to us with limited no or good preparation and all have been able to score their marks to a large extent. Ashish, using this program, was able to improve his fortunes by lot, starting from 95 percentile in JEE Mains attempt 2 to getting selected for mechanical in IIT Madras. Ditya, over a period of time, was able to crack into JEE Advanced using this program. If you think that this seems interesting to you, click on the link below in the description, fill the required details and somebody from my team will get in touch with you.